Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into the disappearance of Suzanne Simpson.
A Texas realtor.
Yeah, the Texas realtor. And we're going to be looking at a recent online article. And this article, well, kind of paints a,
Complicated.
complicated picture
Huh.
of her life and what led up to her disappearance.
So are you ready to dive into this case, see if we can, put the pieces together?
I am.
Oh.
Okay, let's do it. So, looking at this case, what really jumps out at me is just how, perfect her life seemed.
On the surface.
Yeah, on the surface.
Right.
But then how dark things really were
Yeah.
underneath.
It's like this facade. Like they were this, perfect couple.
Right.
Successful real estate.
Power couple.
Beautiful home.
4 children.
Living the dream.
It's like, the life that people envy.
Yeah.
But then, then there's this,
Twists.
twist.
Because Suzanne, she confided in her mother about, some tension at home.
Okay, interesting. So, so what was going on? Like, what was happening in their lives that could have led to this tension?
Well, the article doesn't, get into specifics.
Wow.
But, she did warn her banker.
Oh, about what?
If she disappears,
Okay.
look for her in a lake. Like, can you imagine?
Wow. That's
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah, it's chilling.
Right. Like, think about that.
So she knew.
Well, I mean, it implies that she knew, maybe suspected something
Right.
about her husband.
Yeah, like he was capable of violence.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, and it makes you think, like, how long was she living with that fear?
Right. Exactly. And then, there's that night at the club.
Oh, yeah. Dinner with the youngest daughter.
It seems like a normal family outing.
Probably.
But then, witnesses, they reported this, like, altercation
Yeah, this huge fight.
between Suzanne and Brad.
Yeah. Things get real.
Yeah, takes a dark turn there. Yeah. And after that, Suzanne, she calls her friend and her mother.
Oh, wow.
And describes, her injuries.
Uh.
Yeah, expresses fear. And that's really important because it establishes, the timeline.
Yeah, and, like, the level of, how serious things were.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And it's so sad to think that this was happening, at a place that's supposed to be for fun.
I know.
Like an exclusive club.
You go to celebrate.
Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Right. And it makes you think, did anyone else see this?
Right. Did anyone, like, try to step in,
Like, recognize that she was in trouble.
Yeah. And then, poof, she's gone.
Vanished.
Yeah.
And Brad, he says he didn't see her after dinner, but then he changes his story.
Oh, okay. So, red flag number 1.
Yeah. And another strange thing, no missing persons report was filed right away.
Oh, that's weird. Why?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense, to hold on to hope.
Yeah.
But given everything that happened, it's,
It's strange. Yeah. And it was a key factor in the investigation.
So just 36 hours later, Brad's arrested.
Yeah.
But he wasn't arrested for murder.
Right. Not at first.
So what was it?
Assault and unlawful restraint.
Okay. So what does that mean?
Well, unlawful restraint means you're, restricting someone's movement without their consent.
Okay. Okay. So at this point, it's like they're focused on the domestic violence.
Exactly.
But then the investigation uncovers some pretty incriminating evidence.
Yeah, like that drive-through footage.
Tell me about that.
So the morning after Suzanne disappears, Brad's at this fast food drive-through.
Okay.
But it's not just that he's there, it's what he has with him.
What's he got?
Heavy trash bags, something big wrapped in a tarp.
Okay.
And cement supplies.
Okay, now that's suspicious.
Well, right. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, that can't be a coincidence.
I know, right? The timing, those items, it's just too much.
Yeah.
And then they find text messages between Brad and his business partner, James Cotter.
Oh, what do they say?
Brad tells Cotter to get rid of some things, especially the gun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it gets real. And when the police search Cotter's house, they find a gun hidden.
No way.
Yeah. So Cotter gets arrested too.
Wow. So now we have 2 arrests, missing woman.
Lots of questions.
Yeah. But there's that one detail that just gets me.
The warning.
Yeah, to her banker.
Yeah, if she disappears, look for her in a lake.
Right. It's like she knew.
Like she knew something bad was going to happen. Before the fight at the club, before her calls for help.
Right. It's scary. Like, what did she know?
I know. And it shows just how bad things probably were.
In their relationship.
Yeah, it's a bad situation. And it's important to remember, we have to take these warnings seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. We do. Now, Suzanne's family, they're still searching for her.
I know. And her oldest daughter, Chandler, she's been so strong.
Yeah, using social media to try to find answers.
Yeah, demanding justice.
It's so sad.
It is. Brad's out on bond, $5 million. But they're determined to find Suzanne.
Yeah, they are.
They want answers.
So we've got this seemingly perfect life, but then this dark side, this terrible night,
Yeah.
and then all this evidence.
Right.
But the biggest question remains.
What happened to Suzanne Simpson?
Yeah.
It's a mystery. We have all these pieces, but,
But we don't know the whole picture.
not yet.
It's like, as we dig into this case, it's more than just a missing person case.
Oh, yeah. It's about, domestic violence.
Yeah.
Hidden in plain sight.
Exactly. I mean, they had it all.
They did, right. Beautiful home,
Yeah.
business, family.
But then underneath, it's like this,
Storm brewing.
Yeah.
And so many people, they suffer in silence.
Yeah.
And, those little things, like her confiding in her mother,
Right.
that fight at the club, those were warning signs.
Yeah.
Maybe people missed them, maybe they dismissed them. It's so sad to think, they had this public life. They seem so happy,
Right.
active in the community. But then, behind closed doors.
Completely different story.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, how many other people are going through this?
Right. Putting on a face.
A facade.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, it's a reminder, we can't judge a book by its cover.
No.
Yeah.
You never know what's happening.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I mean, domestic violence, it can happen to anyone.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how much money you have,
Yeah.
how successful you are.
Or how happy you seem.
Right.
So what can we learn from Suzanne's story? How do we go from knowing about this issue to actually doing something about it?
Well, I think education is huge.
Yeah.
We need to understand, how domestic violence works, recognize the signs, know how to help people.
Yeah. But it's not just about, what we do as individuals.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. It's bigger than that. We need laws to protect victims.
Yeah.
We need better support systems.
Like shelters,
Yeah.
counseling.
Yeah. And I think we need to change the way we think about this whole issue.
Yeah. I mean, this case has gotten a lot of attention,
It has.
from the media. Maybe this can be a starting point
Yeah.
for a bigger conversation.
Exactly. It's time to break the silence
Yeah.
and really fight for change.
One thing that I noticed in the article is how fast the police reacted.
Yeah, they jumped on it.
Yeah. Focusing on Brad as a suspect, gathering evidence.
Yeah, I think that was really important, especially in a case like this where
Right.
time is,
Critical.
yeah. But even though they made arrests, we still don't know.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Yeah. Her family's still waiting for answers, still searching.
It's hard to imagine, what they're going through. I mean, they want justice.
Right.
But they also just want to find her.
And her daughter, Chandler, she's been amazing.
Oh, she's incredible. She's so strong.
Yeah, she is. Speaking out, trying to raise awareness.
Yeah, and she wants to hold people accountable.
It's inspiring. Yeah.
It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
it shows how powerful love can be and, how important the truth is.
The more we look at this case, the more it seems like it's not just Suzanne's story.
No, it's bigger than that. It's about domestic violence.
Yeah.
And it's a problem that we all need to face.
We can't just ignore it.
And no, we have to talk about it. We have to challenge our own beliefs, and educate ourselves
Yeah.
about this issue. Because, if we don't, nothing's going to change.
And silence, it just makes
No,
things worse.
It does. It protects the abusers. We need to speak up,
Yeah.
support the victims, and demand justice.
We've learned a lot from this deep dive.
We have. It's been, a complicated case with a lot of twists and turns. But I think the most important thing to remember is that Suzanne's story, it's not over.
Yeah. It's a story that, forces us to look at, the truth about domestic violence.
Right.
And it's a story that, it should make us want to fight for change.
Absolutely. To help people who are suffering.
Yeah.
And to create a world where this doesn't happen anymore.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive here, I keep thinking about Suzanne's case, and it makes me feel, well, uneasy.
Yeah.
It's like this story that, it shows us how often domestic violence happens.
Right.
And how hard it could be to to see it, to recognize it, to do something about it.
Yeah, it's a real wake-up call.
It is. And, that warning that Suzanne gave to her banker, that just sticks with me.
It's haunting
It is.
to think that she was living with that fear.
Yeah.
And she knew something could happen.
Like, look for her in a lake.
Yeah.
Like, she was really scared.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, was there any way to, like, stop this,
Right. Like, what if someone had, noticed, recognized how serious things were?
Yeah, what if someone had stepped in?
It's heartbreaking. And,
Yeah.
it makes me think, like, how many other times does this happen?
Right, where warnings are missed. Or, people just don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's like, how can we be better at this?
Hmm. Well, I think we all have a role to play. Friends, family, neighbors. If you see something, say something.
But, I mean, that's got to be hard, right? Like, to get involved.
You can be.
Yeah.
What if you're wrong?
I mean, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
And even small things can help.
Like what?
Just listening,
Hmm.
letting someone know that you're there for them.
Being supportive.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there are resources out there, right?
Absolutely. Hotlines, support groups, shelters.
Legal help.
Yeah. No one should have to suffer in silence. There is help available.
And if you're going through this, please reach out. You're not alone. There are people who care.
Yeah. This case, it's really sparked a conversation
It has.
about domestic violence.
Yeah.
And, and that's something that needs to continue.
Absolutely.
We need to do better. We need more awareness, better support systems, and we need to stop this from happening.
Yeah, it's a problem we all need to work on.
So we've looked at the evidence, the legal stuff, and how this has impacted Suzanne's family.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
Yeah.
And while they're still searching for Suzanne, her story, it teaches us something really important.
About prevention, intervention,
Yeah.
and support.
This deep dive, it's been, well, eye-opening, to say the least.
It has been.
And I hope it's gotten you thinking about, this issue.
And what you can do to help.
Yeah, because we can all do something. So that's it for today's deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
We'll be back soon with another topic.
Until then, stay curious.
Yeah, stay curious. And remember, knowledge is power.